Jai Gurudev and good evening, children. See, every one of us needs critical thinking. Everyone needs critical thinking. We all encounter opportunities in our daily lives to engage problems and decisions using strong critical thinking actually. So everyone need to think ahead, to plan and to solve the problem. So in fact, when you take the strong thinking is common denominator of success throughout the world. So, children, one of the biggest hallmarks of critical thinking, when you take it's the capacity for independent thoughts. It's easy to believe or agree without consideration. Nevertheless, when we choose to think independently, we exercise a right we have as human and a responsibility we have as global citizen. So, the independent thought requires effort and work, but the payoff is immeasurable. So, one thing when you take it introduces different perspectives and viewpoints which can be educational in nature. So, another aspect of critical thinking is independent thought. It is that it leads us to carry out convictions with courage and to have faith in our ability to decide what is best for ourselves. So now critical thinking in everyday life. See, have you ever been listening to one of your teacher's lessons and thought that it had no relevance in your own life? You are not alone. Just about every student has felt the same way. Of course, every one of you might have thought like that. Sure, you use critical thinking skills in classrooms to solve word problems in math, write essay in English, and create hypotheses in science too. So, but how will you use critical thinking in everyday life? First, keep in mind that critical thinking is simply a deliberate Thought process. Basically, it means that you are using reason and logic to come to a conclusion about an issue or decision you are tangling with. And a clear, sound reasoning is something that will help you every day to keep you make the leap from the classroom to real world. Here are three concrete examples. It's about fake versus real news. See, children, take a moment to reflect on your media skills. Do you think you have what it takes to sort out a real news source from a piece of clever advertising? So even today we were discussing about, like with 10th standard students, I was discussing about COVID-19. Many fake news were passed on in social medias, but we should be aware that which is right and which is wrong. So according to a recent study from Stanford University, a whopping that is 82% of teens surveyed could not distinguish between an ad labeled sponsored content and a legitimate news story. So, part of the problem may come from the schools cutting back on formal instruction of critical thinking skills and assumptions that today's digital native teens can automatically tell the difference without practice or instruction. So, you are good at lots of things, but you have practiced those things, you are good at it. Only when you're going to practice you will be good at it. So how you are going to practice that? How can you practice telling fact from fiction? So one way it's outside the school is to chat with your family and friends about media sources. Find out how they stay informed and why they choose those outlets, and ask each other and ask every routine or every questions now and then, so that you can evaluate it and come out with a proper answer, or you can identify which is real and which is fake. It's not just the media, even it happens in real life. So you can identify what has happened really and what is the fake news which was given to you. Now children, do your friends know everything? So it always tempts to believe that the world begins and ends with your friends. So don't get me wrong, children. So, friends are definitely important, but however, it pays to reflect a little on how a group influences our life. So, to practice critical thinking in everyday life, take a close look at your group of friends. Are there things that are forbidden in your social circle? Are you expected to act a certain way, dress a certain way, think a certain way? Of course, you have to think. It's natural that when a group defines something as cool, all the people in the group work to fit into that definition, regardless of what they individually believe. So, the problem is, virtually every situation can be defined in multiple ways. Of course, children, you may be doing it one thing in a group. Each and every one of your perception, each and every one of your thinking process, everything will differ. So, on your own development, on your own ability, you think and you develop. We may not be same. What is dumb to one person may not be cool to the other. So develop your ability to redefine the way you see the world around you on your own terms. What you feel, what is right, what is bad. Find a time when your friend group sees the negative in a situation. Is, a, is there a positive way to view it instead, or at least a way that makes it seem not quite so bad? So you have to make the circle, or you have to bring out that group without any issues or problems, instead of making that as an issue, or bringing that situation as a negative situation. So think positively and bring out those positive situation around you. Now children, another one is critical thinking in driver's seat. Yes, of course, we have to stand in other shoe, and we should watch it, then only we'll understand them. So one of the core critical thinking skills is which every one of us need in our everyday life is standing in other shoe and listen to them. That none of us do it. Most of the people will fail to do this. So when we have the ability to examine the implication and consequences of a belief or action in its deepest form, this ability can help you form your own set of beliefs in for everything from climate change to religion. But this skill can also save your life and your behind your wheels. So imagine you are crushing down the freeway when your phone alerts you to an incoming text message. The ability to examine your potential action and their accompanying consequences will help you make the best choice for how to handle the situation. So, do you look at the thing that is the risk getting into an accident? The risk is getting into an accident. So, you need to wait and the risk not responding to an urgent matter. Or do you pull over to look at the text and risk being late for your appointment? So, same skill can be applied when you are looking for a place to park, when to pull onto a busy street, or whether to run the yellow light. Better yet, the more practiced you are looking at the implication of your driving habits, the faster you can make split second decision behind the wheels. So now children, why critical thinking in everyday life matters? Yes, literally everyone can benefit from critical thinking because the need for it is all around us. So consider as a a form of thoughtful judgment or reflective decision making. In a very real sense, critical thinking is pervasive. So there is hardly a time or a place where it would not seem to be a potential value, as long as people have purpose in mind and wish to judge how to accomplish them, as long as the people will wonder what is true and what is not, what to believe and what to reject. So strong critical thinking is going to be necessary. So in other words, when we want to say, as long as you remain curious, purposeful and ambitious, no matter what, your interest, you are going to need critical thinking to really own your life. Thank you, children. Let us see about the next topic in next class. Thank you. Jai Gurudev.